Okay, so today we are about to discuss food test. This is the experiment that we are going to hopefully do on Friday. And on food test, specifically we are specifically going to look for different chemicals or nutrients found in our food. And there are different chemicals in the food, so that we need to carry out different kinds of experiments using different chemicals in order to test what kind of chemicals are present. And we use different chemicals, for example, like iodine here, ethanol, and medical solution, copper sulfate, sodium hydroxide. Also, we use distilled water. Distilled water is a kind of pure water, and it doesn't have any kind of chemical. It doesn't have any kind of chemical. It is different from the water, the drinking water or the tap water. It is different from those waters. Do you think, I have a question for you guys, do you think it's okay for us to take distilled water for drinking? Can we drink distilled water? Like, can we use it for drinking purpose? Nothing.
Yeah.
Why?
Because the water, so to neutralize the bash. So I'm
wait, let him finish.
Okay. Oh, you're not the teacher. Let me go.
That way.
Okay, right now.
Now, distilled water cannot be used for drinking because since it doesn't have any kind of nutrient or chemical, when we drink it, it absorbs or takes the nutrients from our body. Okay? So there are minerals in the bones, right? In our bones. It tries to pull those nutrients out of the body, so it's not good for us to drink distilled water. The first test that we are going to carry out is starch. So the starch is a form of sugar, and it is found in different kind of foods. So if we want to test a specific kind of food, whether it contains a starch or not, we use a chemical called iodine. So the initial color of iodine is either orange or yellowish color. That is the initial color of iodine. But to carry out the experiment, we need to add a drop of water in a very small sample of food that we want to test whether it has a starch or not. Then, if that food solution changes color and becomes dark blue black, and that means the food solution has, what does it have?
Starch.
What are we testing for?
Starch.
Wake up. So, yes, we are testing for starch. So, if the color of the iodine, after we put the iodine, if the color of the food sample changes to dark blue black, that means there is a presence of starch in the food. The second one is the test for lipids. What are lipids? Lipids. What are lipids from that one?
Lipids.
Edna, what are lipids?
Lipids. Miss, you should see this.
Thank you, Thomas. I can hear you. Lipids are fats and oils. So, if we want to test for fats, now we stop doing that.
No, let's look. What? And Miss Yuri, what? On that was I. Spread out. Now let's try. Yeah.
Okay, so lipids are fats and oils, and we use two methods to test if there is the presence of lipids in our food, fats and oils. If it doesn't contain, if it does contain fats and oils, we check in two methods. The first one is to use a paper or filter paper. So it's just the first step is to take a sample of food and rub against paper. And if the paper has gone translucent, translucent means something not transparent or something not opaque. Okay? So we cannot see through it, but it's not also block. It doesn't block the light. It lets some amount of light to pass through it. I'm sure you know those terms from your physics classes, right? Transparent, translucent, and opaque objects. Yes. You know them, Marilla? Yeah. So, after you rub it on a paper, the sample of food, if the paper has gone translucent, then that means that food specifically contains liquid. And the second step for to test liquid is to use a chemical called ethanol. It doesn't have any color. Initially, it's a colorless liquid, but we add few drops of ethanol into the food sample that we want to test for liquid. Then we shake the tested tube. Then after we add ethanol into a tested tube of water, that ethanol that we shook, and we add it into a water. Then that means if there's a change in color from colorless to cloudy, if it becomes cloudy, that means that specific food contains. You can see the picture on page 7. You can see like here. The first one is a test for starch using iodine, and the color of iodine initially is, what is the color of iodine initially? Huh?
Orange yellow.
Yes, it's either orange or yellow. But if the food contains starch, what does it become? Yes, it turns into blue-black, and it shows the color change here. The second one is here. Test for liquid. Do you see the cloud formed in the test tube? That means there is a presence of liquid in the specific food. And also, the third one is it's the Benedict solution, the chemical that we're going to use. And we use Benedict solution to test for sugar in the food. And also, after we add a few drops of Benedict solution into the food sample, then after we heat it, we don't heat it directly, but we put the test tube inside a bath of water, a water bath, or a boiling water in a beaker. Then you can see gradually changing the color. You'll see from a blue color, it converts to orangish red color. You can see the picture very well from page 7, the result of the experiment. Do you see this?
Yes.
If the first, initially what is the color of Benedict solution?
Blue, orange.
Yes, it's blue, but if the food sample that we're adding into the Benedict solution, it has sugar, the final result would be what?
Red.
Orangish red. Yes, it converts to the orangish red. And the last one is the test for protein. We need two chemicals. The first one is copper sulfate, and it has pale blue color, and the second one is sodium hydroxide, which is a colorless liquid. Then, when we test for protein, first we add the copper sulfate into the food sample, then we add the sodium hydroxide. Then after, if there is a change in color from pale blue to purple, that means what does the food contain? What is the nutrient found in that food?
Protein.
Yes, that means there is a protein present in the food sample. So this is the experiment. Hopefully we are going to carry out test for starch, lipids, and protein on Friday. So I will also give you a homework, and I will attach it on Google Classroom, okay? You are going to copy, since if we are going to do the experiment on Friday, I want you to copy the note of Friday earlier, because we are going to miss a class. So if it's like if we are going to finish the class with the experiment, I want you to I will add a homework to you and you will do it. I will see you on Friday, yes.